Okay, your doctor missed it.
Big Pharma twisted.
And today we're going to fix it. So, my name is Dr. Eric Aiken. And for some of you, you already know me. You're on my friend page on Facebook. And this is James Cox. James and I have been working together for the last year or so in the same business with a revolutionary product that has really helped a lot of people with their health. And today we want to show you something special. We want to give you something that is going to be worth your time. And so we're going to make a promise to you. Here's our promise. Our promise is that you will learn how to achieve supreme health. And by that, we mean normal body weight, normal blood pressure, optimal cholesterol profile, and optimal metabolic flexibility. That means your fat burning capacity, all without feeling like you're giving something up. You're not training for the Olympics. There's not a slew of things that you feel like you're just having to deprive yourself of. So I'm going to come out of this little presentation a little bit. Here's one thing that you really need to know, though, before we get started. James, I'm going to let you tell them the one thing that's most important.
The one thing that is most important is that your body is insulin resistant, and no matter what your willpower or your genetic, what you think you have, not what you have.
Yes.
8% of people in the country say this as a problem, and it is the number one issue in the country is missing.
Hey, I'm looking at this, and some of the audio is not completely going through, but we're going to keep going and see. It may be, I don't know if it's your headphones or not, but we'll see. But it's kind of going in and out, so I'll let you know. So to reiterate, insulin resistance.
I made a change. How's that?
It's way better, way better. Yeah. So just say that one more time, what you just said, because this is the most important part of this whole thing. You need to understand this.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you.
I couldn't hear what you were saying. I'm sorry. I took my AirPods out.
All right. So I was saying that the number one thing, what you're about to tell them, is the central thing that they must really understand on this. So just reiterate it for them one more time.
88% of the people in this country today have a metabolic issue that their doctors are missing and they're not addressing. And that issue is insulin resistance. And no matter how healthy you think you may be, I can promise you, you're not as healthy as you think you are.
Absolutely right. It is insulin resistance. If you get control of that, you control a whole lot of other problems. Being overweight, the cholesterol problem, the high blood pressure, diabetes. If you've been diagnosed with fatty liver, that's something that is entirely caused by insulin resistance. So stay with us until the end. We're going to give you something for free if you stay till the end. And we're going to give you this lab cheat sheet. Now, your doctor is not checking the labs on you that you need to have done in order to know whether you're getting healthy or not. And inside this guide are 5 labs that are most important for supreme health. And even if your doctor did order these labs, they probably wouldn't know how to interpret them for you. But you're going to learn how to interpret these labs for yourself. And you're probably, some of you are going to have to ask your provider to order the labs because they don't know to do it. Okay, it's sad, but it's true. So now, why listen to us? Because it's important. You know, there's a lot of health gurus out there that are making a lot of claims and professing a lot of strategies, and a lot of it's not good. And so, number one, between James and I, we've lost over 100 pounds. James himself has lost about 100 pounds in weight. I've been a board certified neurosurgeon for 25 years. I come from a family of physicians. And James, tell them what you've done with the clients that you've been working with.
So with my involvement really as a distributor and looking for people to get healthy, I really reached out to some guys who were probably the closest to me, my best friend growing up, some guys that I've known through my career in the poultry industry. And three of those guys alone collectively have lost 240 pounds since the first of the year. One of those has lost 100 pounds in right at 9 months and has been able to return to a career that he loves. And he sent me a message one day and told me that for the first time in his life, he was able to see his neck. So when you get those messages like that, you know that what you're doing is making a difference. And knowing his story, he had kind of reserved himself to the fact that he always felt like he had to be the fat guy, and that's kind of where I was too. I just thought, well, I'm going to be fat the rest of my adult life because this is what we do when we get older.
Yeah.
But him, like me, I'm at the lowest weight I've been my adult life. I'm at a 36-inch waist for the first time since high school, and I'm actually able to work out and have a goal set to where I'm going to close all my Apple Fitness rings for a month, and that's something that I wouldn't have been able to do a year ago.
So what we're about to show you today, part of what we're going to show you is a system, a supplement system that has helped both of us and James's friends, and for me, about 200 other people that I've referred personally to this system. And if you are someone who is not feeling so good about yourself right now, maybe you feel because of your health that you're a has-been, you're done, that you may be feeling old, maybe you're not feeling valued as much as you should at work, or somebody left you and they didn't appreciate you properly and it's made you feel worthless, and you don't feel like there's anything that you could really do about changing your health or your appearance or any of those things. Let me just tell you that is absolutely untrue. There is a value in you. And for many of you, it's an unrealized value that if you just begin to make a few of the right moves, that the health comes back, the energy level comes back, the happiness comes back, your optimism and your mindset improves. And we would love to have you join us actually in this business, because that's what happens to every single person that comes into this business. We all come in, we've all got our own baggage that we have, our set of problems. And somebody left us, somebody didn't value us right, that boss that treated us bad, that job we have to go to every day that wears us out. And when we got into this, it changed everything. And not only that, but the people that you help through this are going to be truly grateful to you for giving them their life back. And that's what we want to do for you today. It's help you get your life back. So, James, you do this part. I'm going to let you do this one.
So imagine if all the weight loss goals, all the activity levels that you wanted to achieve in life, that you felt like that were not attainable. What if you could reach those goals? What if you had to go to the department store not once, but twice to flip your wardrobe? I wore a suit last June to my mother's funeral that I cannot wear today. I'm going to have to take it to the tailor to get it. So imagine all those thoughts that of you're not going to be able to get it back. You're not going to be able to be healthy. You're not going to be able to have control of your health. Imagine if you were able to break through all those chains. Imagine if you did break food addiction. Imagine if your body no longer craved sugar. Imagine if, you were wanting to train for a triathlon at 50 years old. If you wanted to do that, there are people doing it.
You can.
There are people doing it. You can do it.
You can.
I saw a Facebook post the other day where somebody was talking about how they weren't, they forget their age all the time, but one thing they know is they're not 50 yet. And my comment on that was I'm better at 51 than I was at 31. So imagine if, as you're hitting, this may be a little specific to a target group of people, but just imagine yourself if you're 50 years old and you think that your best years are behind you. That's not the mentality to have. I'm at 51 and I think my best years are ahead of me, and I know they are.
That's the way I feel. Imagine being at the end of your workday and you're still running circles around your 20 years younger counterparts at work. And the best part of that is you got those extra 20 years of life, of wisdom, and now you got higher energy levels than they do. How confident would that make you feel? Well, that's absolutely possible. I don't care how bad your health has been in the past. You can reverse that. Your body is a machine, and it's going to respond if you begin to make the right moves. Now, a lot of people are going to hear this live today, and they're going to ignore it. You're just going to continue with the status quo that you've been living with, and that's the majority of you, unfortunately. But somebody out there has had enough. Somebody that I'm talking to right now has had it. They're tired of the status quo, and they want to see something good happen. They want to feel good about themselves again. And if you're listening to me, then come with us a little bit farther, because we're going to show you how to make it happen. To do that, we're going to show you 3 secrets that you're going to need to know in order to begin this process. And then we're going to show you this system that we've been using that is step 1 in the process. Okay. So secret number 1, it's not your genetics. Your genetics are only about 5% of the total equation. And I think of it as like a poker game. The genetics are just the hand that you're dealt for a poker game. But you can win a poker game with all bad hands. Oh, I think I just lost James. Let me put him back on. And maybe not. Whoop. Let me try to add him back. Sorry about this, guys. All right, here he comes. He's back. All right, sorry, lost him there for a second. So you can forgive us our technical disadvantages, both James and
I. I'm not sure what happened there.
We're still figuring out Restream. Yeah. Don't worry about it. Boomers still, but we're gonna be acing this after a while. So yeah, a poker game, you can win a poker game even with all bad hands. There's other skills in that game that you need to have in order to win, like bluffing. You can bluff your way to a win in poker. Well, it's the same way with your health. Here was the poker hand that I got. Okay, this is my dad. Here he is in his 30s. Here he is in his late 50s. In this picture, he has high blood pressure. He has diabetes. He has cardiovascular disease. And he wasn't going to live a whole lot longer. His healthy life, the time of his life that he felt actually good, wouldn't last a whole lot longer beyond this image that was taken. And I was practically following in his footsteps. Here I am. There's that nice dad bod right there. But I put it in reverse. And these 3 secrets that we're showing you now, and the first being, it's not your genetics. It's not about willpower. It's not about discipline. It's not about your genetics. Yeah, there's other things. So what else is involved? Well, ultra processed food. Are you eating it? Because that is going to drive you in the wrong direction. If you're addicted to it, you're going to need something to help you to get unaddicted. And that's what we have been using. James and I both have been using the antidote to ultra processed food addiction. And we're going to tell you about that in a second. But are you insulin resistant? We already told you insulin resistance is the central feature that's keeping you down. If you reverse it, you reverse everything else, and it will make you hungry. So if you're not dealing with that, and if you don't use this system to help you to get ahead of it, well, then you can't win the poker game. Your environment, a lot of what you do is on a subconscious level. And if you don't set your environment up to win, the subconscious you'll be at the mercy of your subconscious mind. Stress, sleep, those things need to be dealt with. A sedentary lifestyle. You don't have to train hard, but here's a simple tip that's worth a lot. If from now on you adopt the habit of starting a walk for 15 minutes, within 15 minutes of finishing a meal, you will absolutely cut your risk for chronic disease in half. Just walk. You don't have to get out of breath. Just walk for 15 minutes. Within 15 minutes of every meal that you eat from now on, you will dramatically cut your risk for metabolic disease. And then some of the medications can actually make your health worse. Like, for example, statin medications. For the vast majority of you, only about 5% of you really need those statin medicines for the long run. You've got some genetic aspect that, if you've got familial hypercholesterolemia, that's only 5% of the population. For 95% of the rest of you, if you start making some of these moves, those become an option. Okay. But those statins will make if you're diabetic, it makes the diabetes worse. If you're close to being diabetic, you're pre-diabetic, it may push you into diabetes. So James and I solved the problem. I'm going to show you what happened with James. This is what happened for me. Stripped off about 40 pounds. I'm going to show you this is an old picture now of James. Let me find it here. Or I had it. Where'd it go? It may not be in this stat. I was going to put this one up, but that's not James. Anyway.
No, that's not me.
Where did it go? Anyway, all right. So I'll find it later. But James has totally transformed himself in this. So that's secret number one. It's not your genetics. Secret number two, feedback is the fix. This guy right here, B.F. Skinner, he was a behavioral scientist, and him along with Ivan Pavlov, they figured out that, yeah, your conscious mind does direct your life a bit, but your subconscious mind probably directs it more. And it's according to this little formula right here, okay? A stimulus, something in your environment, will then provoke a behavior in response to you getting a reward. But if you, for example, you see that commercial on TV for Dunkin' Donuts, you go get the donuts and you have this dopamine surge in your brain. That's the reward. But that's not the reward you're wanting, right? You're wanting something different. Well, you're going to need a feedback loop to change the behavior, because feedback is the key to behavior change. If you're wanting to avoid that, you got to get those stimuli out of your environment so that you don't end up, at the donut shop. A lot of these gurus, even if you're doing the right thing and you're setting up the right stimuli, if you don't have feedback, you can't change the behavior. I'm going to show you an example of that here in just a second. But you see these gurus that tell you, throw your scales away. Just throw them out. They have videos of them smashing them with sledgehammers. You don't need a scale. That would be like a pilot flying your plane back from Chicago to Atlanta, and he says, you know what? I don't want to use this altimeter. It scares me to look at this altimeter. I don't want to know how high I'm going. I'm just going to turn it off. I don't want to look at our airspeed. I'm afraid about how fast we're going. I'm just going to turn it off. I'm going to wing this thing. Believe me, I've got this. What you're doing when you throw the scale away is you're taking your feedback system away. And it's the most important part of changing your habits. So keep the scale, and in fact, add to it a tape measure where you measure around the waist, and then get a pair of body calipers, body fat percentage calipers. There's at least 100 videos on YouTube to teach you how to measure your body fat using calipers, and they're very accurate. Once you got all that information, not just the scale, you can put that information into context, okay? I mean, it's just like when flying an airplane. If you're flying at the right altitude, but the plane's upside down, you don't realize it. You're not looking at are you doing good or not? Probably not. You need all of the measures, all of the metrics to know if you're doing the right thing. That's what Jackie Lackey did. She's one of our partners in this business. Jackie lost over 104 pounds. She got on this system that we're using, this supplement system. It gave her control over her diet, but it doesn't end there, because healthy food, there's a lot of human variability in how you are going to respond to food. Some people can eat dates and no big whoop. For the majority of people, they eat dates and there's no problem. But then some people will eat dates and they can go into a hyperosmolar coma over it, that jacks their blood sugar way up. So for the most, they can get away with it, but you need to know what works for you. You need the feedback loop to know. She used the feedback loop and she won. So we told you genetics can be overcome. You need a system of feedback. Here's secret number 3, that being healthy saves more money than it costs. James, did you ever think that you could not afford to be healthy? Did you ever had that feeling, or that it was just too much of an expense, or that it wasn't worth it a lot?
Yeah, I felt like that, when I got to a point where for my personal health at my biggest, I was at 350. And that's really when I started doing the journey of trying to get healthy. And this was back in 2018. So I got on this whole yo-yo to where I would go from 350 to 305, back up to 335 to 305 to 335 to 305. And I kind of felt like I'd gotten to a point where I was just going to have to be at 305, that I was going to have to spend money for all these people to daily dial in my macros and give me shopping lists and do all that. And so I just kind of given up on it, that I was ever going to be able to afford it. But with what I'm doing now, it's just fits into your monthly budget easily.
Well, this system ends up being a cost saver.
That's right.
And I see people in clinic every week that are impoverished by their health. They're not going to be able to make money because of their health, or they're in serious debt. Here's a statistic, and this is not just in the US, this is everywhere. This is all over the world. People with obesity earn an average of 5 to 15% less income than their healthy peers. If you're overweight, you are not being valued properly. And it's not fair, but it's just the way that it is. They think in fact, humans tend to, even if they themselves are overweight, if an overweight person sees another overweight person, they think that other person is dumb, they're not as intelligent, that they're lazy, that they are just, they just don't value them properly, even if they themselves are overweight. So there's also higher absenteeism among people who have metabolic syndrome. And if you want to know what metabolic syndrome is, it's that constellation, insulin resistance. We told you that's the Medusa, the head of the Medusa. And the snakes coming off the head are high blood pressure, kidney disease, cholesterol problem, atherosclerosis, overweight. Okay. If you want to get rid of the snakes, you got to get the head, and the head is the insulin resistance. So people who have metabolic syndrome have more absenteeism, lower productivity at work. They have higher insurance premiums, higher out-of-pocket costs for labs, doctor visits, medications, more frequent ER visits, and urgent care visits. When you are metabolically sick, it raises your risk for long-term disability up to 90%. And a lot of people don't realize how at risk they are. There are very clear statistics on this. And the younger you are, by the way, the higher your risk, because there's more time that something bad could happen. And if you are neglecting your metabolic health, well, just imagine suddenly something happens in your health tomorrow that was totally preventable, that's going to keep you from working for the next 5 years. You can't make money. They're going to let you go. You're going to be in a bind. I remember a doctor I knew, this very thing happened to him, and he had let his disability insurance lapse like the day before that event happened. Women are affected more if they do become disabled because of chronic disease. They'll lose 5 to 11 years versus men losing 4 to 8.7 years. So we told you the 3 secrets here. You can beat the genetics. That's only 5% of the game. You need a system of feedback, something to help you to get in control, but then a feedback loop to help you to change the behaviors. And it's a lot more expensive to remain metabolically unhealthy than it is to get healthy. It's cheaper to be healthier, to invest in your health. So here's the first thing you need to be investing in your health about. James, I'm going to let you show them the system.
So the Feel Great system by Unicity is it is the most seamless, effective thing that I've ever done to take control of my health. Because number one, I was addicted to coffee. And number two, I was addicted to energy drinks. And I wasn't necessarily addicted to the coffee as much as what I was addicted to what I was putting into the coffee. So the Feel Great system by Unimate is 2 simple products, one twice a day. The Yerba Mate tea, it is harvested in the higher elevations areas of South America. It has 10 times the chlorogenic acid of your store-bought Yerba Mate tea that you can get at your local health stores. And what it does is it increases your GLP-1s by 60%, your ketones by 70%. It's also an anti-cancer agent. It also gives you great neuroprotection, cognitive thoughts, and it protects your kidneys. And a little bit about the Yerba Mate tea and really kind of what attracted me to this whole protocol to begin with and how I came into contact with Dr. Akin was he was my mother's neurosurgeon last spring in Arkansas when she was diagnosed with glioblastoma brain cancer. He did her biopsy, and through my connection with him as her neurosurgeon, I started following him on social media. On his Instagram account, he was talking about this tea and about how it's doing the same thing as Ozempic and Wegovy and all the things that everybody wants to artificially put into their bodies. So after my mother passed and I was going to start working on my own health, I went to my doctor, talked to him about this system. He tried to get me on Wegovy, and I said, I'm not going to do Wegovy. I'm going to try this. And so this is probably the key to really what drives the weight loss. When you wake up in the morning, you're going to skip breakfast and you're going to mix this tea up instead. And what that is going to do is it's going to increase those ketones in your body. And for lack of a better word, and your GLP-1s, and for lack of a better term, I don't know how to explain it other than the fact that it will cause your body to melt into itself. You will feel like your body you will feel the fat melting. And for me, I felt the cognitive effects of it within 48 hours. I started feeling the physical effects of it within 7 to 10 days. Just my gut, that high visceral fat that I carried for so long that I thought I was stuck with, I felt it going away. You drink 2 of those during your fasting window before lunch. And then the second product is Balance, and it is a fiber additive, but it is not any fiber that you can get in the store. It is highly concentrated. I believe it comes from 7 different plant sources, maybe 11 different plant sources. It's got 9 essential vitamins and vitamins and minerals. It is full of polysaccharides, and this is more of a quick additive supplement. You want to drink this right before your second meal of the day or your biggest meal of the day, which is your second meal of the day. What it does is it coats your stomach, gets you feeling full before you eat. You're going to eat less. And then after you have that insulin spike, it's going to level out that dip. And then you're not going to want to have that bowl of ice cream at 8:30 or 9 o'clock at night, or those 5 Chips Ahoy cookies that just taste really good while you're watching Monday Night Football, and you have it with a glass of milk. It's going to take all that away, and then you're just going to sit there and you're still going to watch the game, but you're going to be burning fat as you're watching the game. Then you just get up the next morning, crack open a tea, skip breakfast, eat a good, healthy lunch, light lunch, your biggest meal at the end of the day, rinse, repeat. It is that simple. I tell people all the time, if you can brew a pot of coffee, if you can drink a Celsius, if you can hit the Dunkin' Donuts or the Starbucks or the 7 Brew or whatever Dutch Bros, your coffee of choice, if you can do that, you can do this protocol. It's just a simple replacement, and just looking at food and how much we eat a day differently.
Yes. So today we are going to make you a special offer for this product, for the subscription. And here's what it is. With your subscription to the Feel Great system today, you're going to get first the lab cheat sheet, absolutely free. This is our guide that tells you those labs that your doctor is not checking on you. The labs that your doctor checks on you are the labs that tell you the house is already on fire. What you want is the labs that tell you that the stove has been left on. You don't want to wait until
That's
the
right.
house is on fire. You want to know the stove was left on, and then you can avoid the house from catching on fire. So that is what these labs are. The next thing, you're going to get the metabolic reset protocol. This is not a diet. This is an eating framework, so that regardless of what types of food you like to eat, you can use this framework and still achieve metabolically what you need in order to continue fat burning or to maintain your body fat level. If you're done losing the fat, you've achieved the weight you want, how to stay there. And then finally, you're going to get the apps and wearable technology guide. You know, part of what we were talking about earlier, the subconscious and your environment, these apps, these, especially the wearable technology that they have, they become part of your environment. They provide a stimulus, a cue that then trigger behaviors. Not all of the technology out there is created equal. Some of them are well-meaning, but not that useful. Some others are great and very effective. And so this is a curated list of technologies that I think are actually worth your money, that'll help you move the needle. So you're going to get all three of these guides: Metabolic Reset Protocol, the Lab Cheat Sheet, and the Apps and Wearable Technology Guide, completely free with your subscription. You're also going to get 3 coaching calls from us. And by the way, we are both connected to a whole network of dietitians, nutritionists, and physicians of other kinds who are also with us in this business, which that actually should tell you something, that a lot of medical people are becoming involved. But as James has just showed you, he has helped 3 men lose as much weight as 2 of my son weighs. If my son lost his complete body weight twice over, that's how much weight the 3 men that he's helped. So you don't have to be a medical professional to help people with their health in this business. But we're all well versed in it, and we can show you how to tweak things and make it happen. And we're going to reach out to you. Now, if you don't want us to reach out, we'll reach out with a text. If you're good on your own, fine. We're not going to bug you or harass you. But if you want the help, we're going to help you to do it. You're also going to get a permanent 30% discount with the link that you used today. Whether if you're on James's page, you're going to get that 30% link discount permanently. You're going to get a 90-day money-back guarantee. You can use this system for a quarter of the year and still get your money back. That's how confident that this company is in their product. So there's 2 kinds of people in this world. There is the struggler. That's the person that asks themselves what they want and why they want it. You got to have that why, or else you're not going to reach your goals. They start off strong, but then they ask, how can I do this? How can I do this? And then they end up wasting a lot of time, and they end up failing. And the time that you lose in trying to figure this out is costing you a lot of health. So the smart person, they ask themselves what and why, and then they ask themselves, who can help me? Who's figured this out already so I can save time? And then they get the success. So the question is, which are you? Are you going to be one of those people, this goes in one ear, out the other? You're going to keep coasting with what you're doing. Nothing will help me. I'm too skeptical. Nothing's ever worked. I don't care. I'm not going to do it. You're just trying to scam me. We're not trying to scam you. We're trying to share with you a very profound experience that happened for both of us and has happened for thousands of people across the world with this system. So again, with your subscription today, you will get the 3 guides. You're going to get the 3 coaching calls, a 30% permanent discount, a 90-day money-back guarantee. And you get to keep it all, even if you ask for your money back. You can keep the coaching and the guides and everything else. But this is going to help you to solve that single most important problem that we told you about in the very beginning of this. That insulin resistance that's tied to all of these other diseases, the weight gain, Alzheimer's, joint pain. If you got back pain, a lot of achy joints, that's going to get a lot better on this. Kidney disease, cholesterol problems, stroke risk, cardiovascular disease, type 2 diabetes, high blood pressure, big, huge problem. Are you tired of taking that ACE inhibitor that's making you cough all the time? This can help you get off of it. So what's more expensive? $5 a day on this natural system with no side effects, or you paying those heavy premiums for your health insurance, your medications, your missed income, that 5 to 15% less that you're earning from your employer because you're overweight, the lower wages, the feeling bad, or the intangibles, the feeling bad about yourself. You want to do that another year? Keep doing what you're doing. If you want to turn your life a 180, then do what we're telling you to do right now. Just act. There's no risk. It only takes 30 seconds a day to mix this in this bottle and drink it. You don't have to do anything else. And then we're going to work with you to get your eating right. Here's some of the people that said yes. These are some of the people that said, okay, I'm tired of how things are. I'm going to change it. Look at that. Look at these changes. She got rid of the inner tire. This is somebody that was actually exercising on a fairly regular basis, was still gaining the weight. Now she looks like she's supposed to look when she exercises. Over and over again. Massive changes, total transformation. She looks like a totally different person. This gentleman right here weighed 1/4 ton almost, was on 24 medicines. He's lost over 120 pounds. He's now on 3 medicines with this system. So imagine again that you actually do what we're telling you to do right now. You just take that step, you click the link in James' profile here and go to his link tree, click on the Feel Great system and order it, subscribe. You get these 3 guides, you start using them. And within days, not months or years, within days, you're going to start feeling the difference and start turning your health around. You're going to see a lot of doors opening to you. Your life is going to take a totally new trajectory. And if you can take one step further and you can join us in this business. Once you have your own story, you've shed the weight, you've turned the cholesterol profile around, you're no longer a diabetic, you've had to buy all new clothes because your old ones are too big for you. You've got your own story, then you become a distributor with us. And we have now been able to gain a significant recurring residual income through this business. We'd love to join you. We'll show you how to do it A to Z. So we're going to leave it right there. Be the person that makes the change today. Go ahead and click the link on whatever page that you're seeing this on. If you're on James's page, click his Linktree link, save the 30%. And don't worry, it's a 90-day money-back guarantee. You can do this 90-day experiment and see if it works for you. We're going to be reaching out to you. And if you want our help, and we'll help you all the way. All right. Anything else you got, James?
It's worth it. And if
Yes.
you're skeptical, I'm telling you, it don't only work for me, but I can put you in contact with a ton of other people who I personally, and it's not just the 3 men, but other people as well that I have helped lose weight and also start their own businesses.
This should absolutely be the standard of care for chronic disease. It should become the first line therapy and it is listed in the physician's desk reference. If you have any curiosity, your concern, your doctor can actually look this up in the PDR, which is what doctors use to look up, or what doctors and healthcare providers look up drugs in. Both of these are listed in there, even though they are not pharmaceuticals. They are nutraceuticals with a pharmaceutical grade effect. No side effects, but all benefit. All right. We hope to see your name on our customer list. Talk to you soon.